Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. We're going to get started. If I can have somebody close the door in the back, yes, just in case we get one. Okay, welcome. My name is Ivonne Gonzalez. I'm the CDC Plus trainer and statewide coordinator. I'm here to assist you today with the presentation. This presentation is geared for new representatives or consumers. Okay, those of you that are already on the CDC Plus program, this will be like a refresher to you. And what I would like is that if you have any questions that come up throughout the presentation, that if you filled out this pink form, if you don't have the pink form, we have some white pages in the back there. So if you can put your questions on here, okay? Because hopefully I'll answer them throughout the presentation and you'll get an idea of what the program is about. So today's presentation will be what is the CDC Plus program. I'm going to describe it, state all the different responsibilities of the different persons involved, and give you some small updates of what's happening new. The Consumer-Directed Care program began in the year 2000 as an 8-year research and demonstration project, as a pilot program. Some of you have been on since the beginning. And then after 3 successful years in January of 2004, it entered the demonstration phase. In March of 2008, it became a Medicaid state plan, a permanent Medicaid state plan option under the 1915J. That is what allows family members to be providers for their own consumers or individuals. As of today, as of June 1st, we now have 2,032 consumers self-directing their care. And we are very pleased with that. Forgot to point out that I am also a representative for my 2 children who are on the program. I have a daughter who's 13 and a son who's 23. And I was telling someone, I remember when I first started the program, I said, what do I have to do? I have to do all these documents and all these things? Can somebody help me? So I'm here to help. I'm here to give you technical assistance. I remember that when they started in 2009, and basically I want to walk you through it. So what is it all about? It's a long-term care program. It's based on the principles of self-determination and person-centered planning. It's based on the individual, what her needs are, what her goals are. And you will be able to direct that by listing. You have the freedom to decide where and with whom you will live, authority to decide how you will live, support the individual will need to make his decisions, control over the resources needed for the individual's support, and most importantly, you will have responsibility for all the decisions and actions. We have a lot of flexibility with the program, but we have a lot of responsibility as well. So you will control what services and supports are needed, who your providers will be, whether it's an employee or an agency, when they will be given, during the day or in the weekends, where, out in the community or in your own home, and how the supports and services are given. You will be, the representative will be the person training that employee on how the supports will be given. So let's say you're interested in being in our program, which you are today. You need to first be enrolled in the Developmental Disabilities Medicaid Waiver, now known as the iBudget Waiver program. If you're on the waiting list, you need to be enrolled in the program first, in the Medicaid waiver. And live in your own home or family home. You can't be in a group home. You will need to take a training, CDC Plus training, which consists of similar to what I'm going to today, but it'll be about a 6-hour training, 9 to 2. The next training I will be having is on July 30th. I had mentioned to a few persons in the, if you, next to your signature, if you can tell me that you're interested in the training. It's going to be a webinar. I do that so that we can assist as many people throughout the whole state. You can do it from your own home. You don't need to go anywhere. And after you take that training, you need to pass an open book readiness review with a score of 85% or better. And then you will need to select your consultant. She is your waiver support coordinator who's been trained in CDC. You will next need to fill out the application. It's a 2-page application with the IRS form. Because remember, now your son is the household employer and he is opening up a small household business. This next step, or the first step, would take about 45 days. Once you're enrolled in the program, you will be asked to write a purchasing plan. So you would start thinking about the employees you want to hire, and you would have them interviewed and then background screened. And then each of those employees will fill out what's called an employee form or employee packet. It consists of all these other forms, W-4, I-9, the affidavit of good moral character, and direct deposit form. If you hire an agency, you would do a vendor form. So some of the building blocks into getting the purchasing plan. You would have your support plan, just like you do now on the waiver. And then you would have your cost plan. With those 2 pieces of information, you'll be able to create what's called your purchasing plan. How am I going to purchase those supports and services? There you will list all your employees, what their rates of pay are, and what services you'll be using. You're going to have your monthly budget. How does that get calculated? Well, you're going to take your cost plan, have all the services that are listed there. You're going to divide them by the number of months, probably 12 months now, because we have the new fiscal year. Cost plan was coming up now on July 1st. And you're going to have a discount rate of 8% and a 4% administrative fee. Okay? And that will become your flexible monthly budget or monthly amount. We're going to give you guidelines of what's allowed on the program and what's not allowed. So you're going to have some services that you know you would be purchasing, but you're going to have some other services additionally that you will be able to save for. This is what the purchasing plan looks like. This is just the first page, just basic information. It's in Excel. It's only 6 pieces of paper. We'll walk you through it when I do the training, and you'll be able to develop it. So I like to compare what is the difference by staying on the med waiver or the iBudget waiver or moving on to the optional program of CDC+. Well, with the iBudget cost plan, we have service families called life skills, supplies and equipment, personal supports, therapeutic supports, transportation, and dental. And you must use the same Medicaid waiver providers with their established rates. Okay? You don't have any choice with getting other providers. When you move on to CDC+, you have your cost plan minus your 8% and the 4% administrative fee, which will give up your reduced budget. And you have additional services that are not on the waiver. One of them is advertising. You need to hire someone. You need to put an ad in the paper. You can save up for that funding to be reimbursed for the advertising. Seasonal camp. A lot of the kids in the program are minors. You know that it's really important for them to go to summer camp. We get justification, put it on your support plan, and then you would transfer that information into your purchasing plan. Personal response system, therapeutic equipment. I had someone ask, well, what happens when I need my wheelchair fixed? You need to go first through Medicaid or Medicare. If they don't reimburse you for that or they don't pay for that, you get a denial letter, and you can request the other adaptations that you need for the wheelchair through your savings. Okay? We have specialized training and other therapies. someone needs massage therapy. I can save up because I'm hiring my employee at a lesser rate than the provider will be if I had to hire them as an agency. The example I always like to use is the PCA comes in at $15 an hour for a minor, $15 an hour. I take my 8% and my 4%. That will be $13.20 an hour. I pay my employee $10 an hour. I have $3.20 an hour that I'm saving up for. That $3.20 an hour keeps adding up for 40 hours a week times how many months? 12 months. That becomes a big amount. My employee is happy. She's getting paid at a higher rate than the agency would have paid her. My children are happy, and now I have extra funding that I can purchase either additional hours of personal care assistant. I can get respite. I can send my son to the summer camp. I can have him have massage therapy. Whatever is important for that consumer, that individual, that meets his needs and goals to make him more independent and have a better quality of life. That's what we want for all our children. Okay? So you're going to be able to negotiate the rates, hire your employees, train them, and submit the timesheets and invoices for these employees or these agency vendors. What we have is called restricted services. These are services that are restricted. You need to purchase at least 92% of the units of measures for them. So let's say I ask for occupational therapy. I need to use that same occupational therapy. I ask for 12 hours. 92% of that is about 11 hours. I need to have that 11 hours in my purchasing plan and use it up for that. I have that 1 hour left that I can convert into an unrestricted service. So all these services need to be used identically. They can't be interchanged. Respiratory, speech therapy, these are services that meet medical necessity. You need to get a prescription for, so you cannot interchange them. Then we have what's called unrestricted services. These can be interchanged. They are not under any medical necessity. So let's say I had adult day training 5 days a week. My son or daughter decided to go 3 days a week to the adult day training. Now he wants to have 2 days of companion. He can do that. You can do that on the waiver as well. It's a quite simple way to do that. But let's say he felt something else was more important to him. Maybe he wants to go to the gym. He wants to take part of that funding from that adult day training and add or use it up for the gym membership. Or perhaps maybe he wanted to go and go to supported employment. Probably, maybe he wants to take some of that funding to go get a job. He can use that with transportation. He can maybe go to some specialized training that he needs. Or perhaps he's an adult, needs some consumable medical supplies. It's not paid through Medicaid. You can now save for it, save for that item or that service, and get it through the CDC Plus savings. All right, so we're going to go into some of the roles. The participant is the consumer or the individual, the representative, the consultant, the area liaison, and the fiscal employer agent. So I have some of the panel here that are going to assist me with this. So the first one is the representative. My son or daughter cannot sign all the forms. He needs to get a representative. He needs to be at least 18 years of age. And it's going to be someone that does this voluntarily. He will not get paid or benefit from any other business or authorized to provide any of the service for that participant. So the first person I have is Trisha Madden. She is a representative for her son, and she'll explain to you what she does.
I think this is almost the beginning point where most people get scared about trying CDC Plus. It sounds horrendously full of details and paperwork. My son's been on the program since almost the very beginning, 2001, and I love it. And when iBudget came along, you get more flexibility, a little bit more flexibility in money. You don't lose money like you used to, but you don't really control it as much as we do on CDC Plus. And what I love about the program, and I'll tell you two things. I'll tell you more details, but I love the fact that I get to choose adapt my son's programming, because his needs change month to month sometimes. He was in the hospital in the ICU for 23-hour days. You can guess we didn't use that money for companion respite that time. But we did use it for PCA to come help me in the hospital. There was just so much I can do with it. We travel out of town. The other thing is, you hear about how to do all this, it sounds downright scary. But once you're trained by Yvonne through the program, and once you've done it one or two times, you're going to realize that it's worth it, because you, again, get to decide, not based on what some generic format of what a person with disability can do. You're going to be able to face it on your family, your child, or if you're not the immediate family, the family you're helping. Now, a representative, that's the one who has to do the paperwork, and it sounds downright stopping. You should have been with us when we started the program, because they kept changing the rules in the early days when it was an experiment. It's been fantastic. I can meet Kevin's needs. If he's sick 1 month and I want to keep him out of the daycare center or ADT he goes to because I'm afraid he's going to get the flu or something, and he's been through cancer and everything else, I can save that money up, and the next month I can use it. I can either have respite come in, or I can save it for something else where I need more PCA, and I'm trying to get over the exhaustion I got the first month when he was home, and let the PCA come in and take him to Disney World, or take him to, I'm in Orlando, you can guess. You can take him to movies. Kevin sees more movies than I see ever. He's got a much better social life than I have, and it's because with CDC Plus I can do it. Now I'll tell you quickly, the paperwork you do as a representative is your responsibility. But once again, once you're trained, the first 2 or 3 times it's going to sound like a nightmare almost. But you've got people in every area. You've got an area liaison who can help you do it. You've got to ask for, first of all, somebody who's a coordinator who's trained in CDC Plus who can help you. So you really are not left out by yourself the first few times. It sounds like you are sometimes with the paperwork, but you've got help and resources you can get locally. There are support groups now in a lot of our towns. I happen to be on the Orlando support group. A lot of us can help you because we've been there, done that. It is worth the value. One other thing, like hiring employees, negotiating pay, that sounds kind of scary too. And as a representative, you're required to do that. But think about, otherwise, I get people handed to me that may turn out not to work with my kid at all. Or I'm sorry, my kid is 41 years old, but to me, so is my first lieutenant commander at combat pilot. He's a kid still too. So I'm not discriminating against him. Both of them are kids. And both of them need a lot more training. But anyway, you can get people to, I use a lot of times the people who work in his workshop because they know him so well. And the advantage to that is after hours, they need a second job. A lot of them have them. They can handle him beautifully. It also gives you a little more clout with what he gets in the day program. Hiring people is like just meeting people or looking for people. It sounds terrible, but again, you can look at the little workshops. You can advertise as it says. You can call your area offices and ask them if they have any people. They can't recommend people, but sometimes they'll have lists of services that are now available in your area that you can make contacts with. Sometimes other agencies. In fact, I don't use agencies and hire employees because, like Yvonne said, I want to pay for quality help, the quality I need. And this allows me the flexibility. If I'd rather have a higher quality PCA worker than spend it on respite or on companion, I can do that. I can switch the funds between the categories. It makes it great. When you come out to negotiating rates, it's got two importances. You can economize at times if you choose, or in my case, I choose to pay more to get better help. So, but you control this, whereas with the iBudget alone, you have some limitations in that. The other part of this is ensuring the background screening. You have to do that as a rep. It's really difficult. You call downtown and say, hey, do you have any organizations that do backgrounds? Can you tell me the names of them? They won't tell you who to go to, but there are usually people in town in your area that's the company's used to coordinating with APD. You just send the person down there and they're screened. In fact, I'm getting ready to get myself screened just in case someday, as a rep, I don't have to be screened. I thought, what if something changes? What if one day my husband, who works for my son, no longer can do it? What if all of a sudden I have to switch roles with somebody? What if I have to find a rep? to do my own job, and I have to start working with Kevin because, yeah, our life right now is partly based on the fact that my husband gets paid to take care of Kevin. Otherwise, we'd both be working, and Kevin would have fallen through the loopholes. It's not a moneymaker for us. It's not a moneymaker, it shouldn't be, but it is a way of providing the care for Kevin that Kevin needs, and he keeps picking up disabilities left and right. Signing the documents and all, Yvonne will take you through the training. That doesn't stop the first time she trains you. She's available. Other people are available in your area to help you go through the forms. It is scary the first time because it's paperwork. I'm a lawyer, or I was. I'm supposed to be retired. Paperwork is what we did. I spent my life to it. I don't need more paperwork, but I pay bills every month for myself, the house. Same thing with CDZ Plus. You just brought it up. The nice thing about CDZ Plus, though, unlike when I ran my own law firm, they act as the banker, the payer for you. They do all the W-2s. You get, yes, she listed the forms for you that you have to fill out, but once they're filled out, the nice thing is you just ship them off to CDC, to APD, and they act as the employer. It's like having Prime or some of the other companies work for you. Only it doesn't come out, it does not now come right directly out, if you're not paying it yourself. It's figured into your iBudget, your budget. It sounds also like the other thing you can do is you're responsible for having the Medicaid funds. That is the money you get from CDC Plus. And the other thing is a part of it about cooperating with quality assurance monitoring. That is what we call Del Marva. And that's just making sure we're all on target. And it's not a scary thing to do.
Okay, now the consultant roles. Adrienne Dissy.
As you can see, the consultant's role looks very similar to that of your support coordinator. We are there to help with support plan development, address any Medicaid eligibility issues, monitor health and safety, report abuse and neglect, and do our monthly contacts. In the day-to-day activities of a representative, there's so very many questions that come up, whether it has to do with payroll issues or the outcomes that you want your child to be reaching through the purchases that you make out of your purchasing plan. This is where the role of the consultant becomes critical. You have to have a great rapport and know that that consultant is going to be there for you when those questions come up, and they come up frequently. So that the one role that stands out for the consultant is that we are there to provide the ongoing education, the ongoing technical assistance, and the guidance that you need in order to achieve all of those roles that you just saw as a responsibility of being represented.
Okay, thank you. And the regional liaison, she is the person in each area, or each region now, that has communication with the rep, the consultant, and before all the forms are sent to the state office, she's the person that reviews everything and makes sure all the background screening results are available to be given to you. And she oversees the corrective action plans and background screening. Okay, the state office in Tallahassee. I'm going to let Ms. Susan Nipper, our CDC Plus administrator, go on and tell us what you do.
Hi everyone. So in the state office, we oversee the CDC Plus program at a state level. We assist by helping to develop the policy and interpret that for you guys. We help to make sure that quality assurance monitoring process works smoothly for you and that everyone is complying with those requirements. We perform the fiscal employer agent duties, so we're running the payroll for you. We're ensuring that the paperwork that you complete for your employees is filled out properly, that those tax forms are handled for you. We process the payroll to ensure that your employees are getting paid timely. We are there for technical assistance, for guidance, for whatever it is that you need to make this a successful program for you. Okay? We assign provider ID numbers so that you know when you go to submit those payroll claims for your employees. We have 3 different ways that you can do that. You can do it online, you can do it over the phone, kind of like a touch tone phone system, or you can call and speak with our customer service agents who are available from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. You'll be able to do those things. We act as your banker, we act as your bill payer. We send out statements showing the account activity on a monthly basis. So you'll be able to have that information as well.
Good, thank you. Okay, just some reminders. Every employee needs to have a level 2 background screen done. They need to send in the clearance letter before they start working. And it's valid for 5 years. If they have a break-in service, they need to have the background screening redone again if they have a break-in service for 90 days or more. So they need to go back and have it screened again. If you want to know more information, we have a website, apdcares.org/CDC+. And you as a participant, we have our webpage where you're going to have the information of the rule handbook. There, it will list all the services in each detail. It will describe the service and what the qualifications are and whether it's a restricted or unrestricted service. We have a participant notebook that is being revised. It's in English and Spanish. It'll give you more tips on how to hire employees, etc. We also have the appendix. That is where all the forms are. Look on the website for more updated forms whenever you need to do an employee packet or a vendor packet. So I'm pleased to announce that now we have 11 support groups throughout the whole state. I'm really glad that we were able to extend that because when my children first started the program, we only had one in Miami and in Tampa. So we want to call out the names of the persons that are the chairpersons for each of the area. We have in Miami, we have Yolanda Herrera. I'm not sure she's here, right? Okay. In Key West and Key Largo, now we have Dorothy Cleaver. In Broward, we have Gilda Pacheco. She's in the back. Thank you. In Fort Pierce, we have Stephanie Presson Brown. She couldn't make it either. Teresa Brown in Melbourne. Trisha Madden from Orlando. Derek Tainer, he was here earlier, he had to leave. He's the one from Daytona Beach. In Gainesville, we have Kalisha Eagle. In Jacksonville, we have Melinda Morrison. In Largo, we have Judy Cole. And in Tampa, we have Joanne Rendas. Did I say that right? Thank you. Anyhow, that support group is not just for going there to talk about your problems. It's there for solutions. We have about half an hour of technical assistance. I usually do it via the phone. Wherever the support group meetings are, they're done about every 2 months. And I'll be on the call and I'll assist you as well for technical assistance. And it's a good way to find out what the other parents are doing with their supports and services. What's working for them? What are good programs can we go to? So once you take my training, the next one will be on July 30th. I send you a certificate that you passed. If you didn't pass, we'll let you do it again, okay? And then I'll get your email, send you the link of when the next support group meeting is, and you'll know if you can attend or not. And we also do it via phone. If you can't go to the meeting, maybe you have something else to do, you can be in your own home and connect that way. We have one in Tallahassee, one I go. I tried to get a chairperson there, but she decided not to do that. But if you live in Tallahassee and you want to be the chairperson, yes, give me your number or on the sign-in sheet. Tell me that you want to be the chairperson and we'll set it up. I usually go to Tallahassee about every 3 months. I live in Miami, so definitely we need that there, okay? Sometimes, some of the meetings are done at night, some are done in the morning. So it depends on which area it is.
And further west in the Panhandle as well, so there's a need.
Right.
When is the training?
The training will be July 30th, 9 to 2. It's from your own home. From your computer. Webinar, yes. If you like, right next to your signature, let me know when that you want to attend the training so I can send you an email with a link. And before we get to the questions, do you want to talk about what we want to enhance the program with? Some of the new things that we want to make it?
Sure. So one of the things that we are working on currently is making the program a little bit more streamlined, hopefully a lot easier for folks. We're looking at having the purchasing plan system become an electronic format. Okay, yay, see, yay. Doing away with the paper. Right now, CDC Plus, we don't require consumers or their representatives to have a computer, so you may not say yay. But where support coordinators and consultants are required to. So you would still, perhaps if you don't have a computer or have that access, submit that document in paper to your consultant, who then would put it into the system electronically. Having an electronic approval flow so that it can make it a lot faster for you in getting things up through to state office.
Do you still need to have a paper copy for Delmarva? You know, if it gets into this electronic, do you still have to have a paper one in your file for when you have a Delmarva review?
Right, and doing it electronically,